You swipe your card to buy coffee, and boom, the payment goes through in just 2 seconds. But have you ever wondered where that money actually goes and who controls it during those seconds? The answer is going to blow your mind because it's not your bank doing all the work. In fact, there are invisible companies making millions every single time you tap or swipe that card. And here's the crazy part. Most people have no idea these companies even exist or control their money. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your debit or credit card the same way again. So stick around, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you think about every single transaction. Let's dive into the secret world that operates behind every card swipe you've ever made in your life. When you hand over your card at a store, you think the money goes straight to them, right? Wrong. Your money goes on a wild journey through at least 4 different companies before reaching that store, and each one of these companies takes a small cut from your payment without you even knowing it. The first player in this game is your bank, but they're just the starting point of this journey. The second player is the merchant's bank, the place where the store keeps all their money and profits. But here's where it gets interesting. Between these 2 banks, there are 2 massive invisible giants controlling everything. These giants are called payment networks, and you've definitely heard their names before: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover. They don't issue cards, they don't hold your money, but they control the entire highway your money travels on. Think of them as the road builders and toll collectors of the digital payment world we live in today. Every single time you swipe, they process the transaction and charge fees for letting your money pass through. Visa alone processes over 200 billion transactions every single year, making billions in profit from these tiny fees. Now, the fourth player in this game is the payment processor, the technology company that connects the store's card reader to everything. Companies like Square, Stripe, and PayPal play this role, and they also take their own small cut too. So when you buy that $5 coffee, fractions of cents are going to all these different companies instantly. It happens so fast that you don't see it, but trust me, everyone is getting paid in this chain. Now, let me break down exactly what happens in those 2 seconds when you swipe your card at any store. First, you swipe or tap your card, and the card reader instantly captures your card number and transaction amount. Within milliseconds, this information shoots through the internet to the payment processor handling that store's transactions and payments. The processor then sends this request to the payment network, let's say Visa, asking for approval to charge you. Visa receives this request and immediately forwards it to your bank to check if you have enough money available. Your bank checks your account balance in a fraction of a second and decides whether to approve or decline. If approved, your bank sends a yes signal back to Visa, which sends it to the processor and store. The card reader shows approved on the screen, and you walk away thinking the transaction is complete and done. But here's the twist. The money hasn't actually moved yet. It's just been promised and reserved for later transfer. The actual money transfer happens later that day or even the next day through a process called settlement and reconciliation. During settlement, all the transactions of the day get bundled together, and the money finally moves between banks officially. And remember, at each step of this journey, someone is taking a fee from that transaction you just made. The store pays the biggest fee, usually between 1 and 3% of whatever you spent on your purchase. So if you spent $100, the store might only receive $97 after all the fees. This is why small businesses have minimum card purchase amounts, or prefer when you pay with cash instead. Now, here's something most people don't realize. Visa and MasterCard don't actually compete on price like normal companies. They both charge similar fees because they operate in what's basically a comfortable duopoly, controlling most of the market. Together, they control over 90% of all card payments outside of China, giving them enormous power and influence globally. They set the rules, decide the fees, and every bank and store has to play by their rules completely. You might ask, why don't banks just send money directly to each other without these middlemen taking cuts? Great question. And the answer is about trust, speed, security, and the massive infrastructure these networks have already built. Imagine if every bank had to connect directly with every other bank in the entire world for transactions to work. That would require thousands of individual connections, agreements, and security protocols that would be a nightmare to manage and maintain. Payment networks solve this by creating one universal system that every bank connects to just once for everything. They also guarantee the transaction, meaning if something goes wrong, they handle the disputes and chargebacks for protection. They invest billions in fraud detection, security systems, and technology to keep your money safe from criminals and hackers. So yes, they take fees, but they also provide real value by making global payments instant, secure, and reliable. But let's talk about who really profits the most from this system that processes trillions of dollars every single year. Visa's profit margin is insane, often 50%, which is higher than most tech companies you know and love. That means for every dollar they make in revenue, 50 cents is pure profit going straight to their bottom line. MasterCard has similar margins, and both companies are worth hundreds of billions of dollars in total market value today. The crazy part is they don't take physical risk like banks do because they never actually hold your money themselves. They're just the middlemen, the highway, the network, and yet they're some of the most profitable companies on earth right now. Meanwhile, your bank makes money too by charging you monthly fees, overdraft fees, and interest on credit card balances owed. And if you're using a credit card, the bank that issued it also gets a portion of those transaction fees. So everyone in this chain is winning financially except for one party, the merchant selling you the product or service. The merchant pays all the fees and absorbs the cost, which is why prices are sometimes higher to cover these costs. Now, some countries have tried to regulate these fees to protect small businesses and consumers from excessive charges and costs. The European Union, for example, capped card fees at very low levels to promote competition and fairness in their markets. But in the United States, these networks have much more freedom to charge what they want with fewer restrictions applied. This is also why digital wallets like Apple Pay and Google Pay are becoming more popular and widely used today. They add another layer to this system, but they still rely on Visa and MasterCard networks underneath to process payments. Apple Pay doesn't replace your card, it just makes it easier and more secure to use the same card digitally. And yes, Apple also takes a tiny cut from the banks for every transaction you make using Apple Pay technology. So even more players are entering this ecosystem, each taking their own small piece of the transaction pie available. Here's another mind-blowing fact. Contactless payments and tap-to-pay are even faster, but use the same network infrastructure. The difference is that for small amounts, banks sometimes approve without checking your balance first to speed things up even more. They take the risk that you might not have enough money, but it's worth it for the speed boost. This is why sometimes you can make small purchases even when your account is nearly empty or slightly overdrawn without issues. But don't try this intentionally because banks will catch up eventually and charge you overdraft fees for the negative balance. Let's also talk about credit cards versus debit cards and how the money flow is slightly different between the two. With a debit card, the money comes directly from your checking account almost immediately after the transaction is approved by bank. With a credit card, the bank is lending you money on the spot and expecting you to pay it back later. Because of this lending risk, credit card transaction fees are usually higher than debit card fees for merchants to pay. This is also why credit cards offer rewards like cash back or points because banks make more money from them. Those rewards are funded by the higher fees merchants pay and the interest charged on balances you carry each month. So basically, when you get 2% cash back, it's coming from the 3% the merchant paid in fees. Now let's get to something important. Who actually controls your money when a transaction is in progress and being processed? The honest answer is that during those 2 seconds, the payment network has temporary control and oversight of the information. They verify, route, and authorize, but they don't touch the actual money sitting in your bank account at all. Your bank still holds the money until settlement when they officially transfer it to the merchant's bank through the network. So technically, you and your bank control the money, but the network controls whether the transaction happens or gets blocked. This gives payment networks enormous power because they can decide which merchants are allowed to accept cards or not. They can ban entire industries or businesses they don't want on their network for legal or ethical reasons they determine. This has happened with certain adult industries, gambling sites, and even some political fundraising groups in recent years and controversies. So these private companies have significant influence over commerce and what people can buy or sell using card payments today. It's a power that makes some people uncomfortable because it's not democratically controlled or transparent to the public eye. So what does all this mean for you as a regular person just trying to buy groceries or coffee every day? First, understand that every card payment has hidden costs that someone is paying, usually the business selling to you directly. Second, your transaction data is being collected, analyzed, and sometimes sold by banks and networks for marketing and profit purposes. Third, these networks are incredibly powerful and profitable companies that operate mostly behind the scenes without much public attention or scrutiny. But here's the good news. Competition is slowly coming to this space through new technology and innovative payment methods emerging. Cryptocurrency and blockchain technology promise to eliminate middlemen and let people send money directly peer-to-peer without fees or networks. Buy now, pay later services like Affirm and Klarna are changing how payments work for online shopping and e-commerce today. And central bank digital currencies might one day let you pay directly from a government-backed digital wallet without private networks. The payment industry is evolving rapidly, but for now, Visa and MasterCard still control the vast majority of transactions happening worldwide. So next time you swipe your card, remember the invisible journey your money takes and all the players taking cuts. Those 2 seconds involve a complex dance of technology, trust, fees, and infrastructure that most people never think about at all. But now you know the truth about who really controls money when you swipe, tap, or insert your card anywhere. Opened your eyes to the hidden world of payments, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Drop a comment below telling me if you'll think differently next time you use your card to make a purchase. And share this with someone who's always wondered how card payments actually work behind the scenes in real time today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we uncover more secrets the financial world doesn't want you to know about.